we want to sell, but we don't want to go to market. People are so nervous about banging out 5 or 10 grand, going to auction. They're not even sure if they want to go on the market to the auction. What are the options? We're going to talk about it right now. Stay tuned.
We're having a bit of a boogie. Mondays are literally madness in real estate, aren't they? I feel like it's just been like level 16 on a running machine, and now it's just like we're coming down to like level 14. I'm like, it can't be 8 o'clock already.
A 12-hour day went bang.
Literally, didn't it?
But
went
okay.
So fast. We're good.
We're okay.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pumped. Feeling pumped.
Monday.
This is a really, really big topic. How many people, particularly at this time of year, look, I hear it all the time now where people are like, oh, you know, if we got the right price, we'd sell, but we don't want to go on the market. We do not want to go on the market. We don't want to go onto realestate.com. We don't want to go onto Domain. We don't want the photos out anywhere. We don't want a signboard. We don't even want it on your social media.
But we want it sold.
Selling a secret.
I was with a lovely couple today, been in the house 19 years, and she's like, you know, we're talking to agents, 7 grand, 8 grand, 9 grand, 10 grand, and we're like, look, we're serious, we want to sell, but do we bang out that sort of money and suck it and see?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. There's plenty of options you can do before you do that. Still can do that.
Yeah, but it's not even the marketing money. So the people that I'm speaking to, and guys, let it be known, I have got a substantial amount of stock that will never go onto my social media and that will definitely never even be emailed out to the database. It is totally off market. I think I want to break down some of the definitions of off market, pre-market, and on the market, because these are terms. We came up with the terminology pre-market. Fact. There's a video from about 3-4 years ago, I think, with Leanne Pilkington.
Maybe even longer. Yeah.
Maybe even longer. Who was the then president of the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales, and together we came up with that terminology pre-market. Let's just talk about the definitions first so people can understand, because I reckon there's a lot of confusion out there. I know there is. And what started off as a thing, you know, with the whole pre-market that we did, and off-market, people saying that off-market was just a fad, when I first came into real estate sales 6 years ago, has now become a real thing. It absolutely is. So let's break it down. What's off-market?
Well, I used to say off-market, and they have a signboard in the front of the property that email to everyone on their database. And like, that's not off-market.
No.
That's not off-market.
Yeah.
Off-market is direct phone calls. That's it.
Yep.
Boom.
So off-market, direct phone calls, no formal advertising anywhere. That's what we consider off-market to be. So no photos out to the email database, not on your website, not on your social media, no signboard out the front of the property.
Yes.
Literally like playing the memory game. You've got a buyer on your database that you contacted and you told them about a property that is never formally advertised anywhere.
Yep. And I also think it's the most wonderful time of the year where you can be doing this sort of stuff, because people are, and by the way, there's a live show. Any questions, type them in. We'll answer them for you on Novak Facebook.
We will.
But it's the most wonderful time of the year because agents are going, can't do anything. You got to wait till 15th of January, 25th of January before we start an auction campaign, and off we go again. And another conversation I had with the same people that I talked to today is I said, watch out for your real estate agent, because they may be taking a holiday and they may be shaping your property to come on the market when it actually suits them rather than when it suits you. Because at the moment, people are selling in isolation. As more and more properties come off the market, sellers are going, I'm going to have Christmas here, I'm going to chill out. Your competition's leaving the market, a great time to enter the market, whether it's off market or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we covered off market.
Okay, pre-market.
Yes.
Pre-market, what does that look like?
Pre-market.
We're breaking it down for you guys. So we've just covered what off-market is, our definition of off-market.
Yeah.
And now our definition of pre-market, a word that we came up with for the industry. It's used everywhere now. It is honestly used everywhere, but it was a terminology that we came up with, as I said, with Leanne Pilkington, who was the former president of the Real Estate Institute
of New South Wales.
Sort
of was pre-market, and it was also a word we used was pre-marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the best way to understand it is once you're on realestate.com.au, once you're on domain.com.au, you're on the market.
Correct.
Right? Now, before that, pre that, there's activities that agents can do to get you a cracker price, and they don't involve those portals. So pre-market can be all the things you do before you hit realestate.com and before you hit domain.com.au, and there are a lot. And
there's so many.
If you're not in the industry, you got no idea. Like you don't understand the amount of the iceberg underneath the water of everything that a great agent can do.
So let me break it down, Mark. So pre-market, our definition of pre-market is we have had photos taken of the property that launched out to our email database.
Yes.
You are on our website.
Yes.
You have received a text message to let you know about the pre-market opportunity before it's gone out to those real estate portals.
Yes.
And the biggest one is social media. So we've built up these portals over the last, let's call it 5 years, like TV channels. And if you are following on our social media, you will get to see those properties first before they actually launch out to the real estate portals.
Yeah.
I just sold a property tonight, actually, straight off social media.
Wow. Which one?
A house in Beacon Hill. Now, never made its way to the portals, sold really quickly after the very first open.
And I do have to say, while we're talking about this, the difference between, thanks Chris for your lovely comment, the difference between social media and social media can be very, very different, right? So when you're talking pre-market, if an agent says, I'm going to have you on social media pre-market, that does not mean that they're going to put a post, a one-hit wonder post with $10 or $100 or $1,000 behind it. If they don't have the correct audience, they will not get the penetration. They will not get the interest. So, and I like the way you explain that, Lisa, on a television station. Just because you're on a television station and you're on channel 47 or 52, it doesn't mean you're on telly. It's channel 7, channel 9, channel 10. Why they're powerful? They've got the following. So when your agent's talking about doing pre-market on social, make sure they've got the following. Make sure they got your buyers, the correct buyers for your property, following them when they launch stuff out.
And
that's
also,
huge.
And
but
also,
how do you
guys,
know as a seller, it's hard.
But also, guys, understand that when a property is going out to social media, if a real estate agent isn't overly active on their social media and doesn't have a particularly enormous following on their social media, and all they're doing is putting up a static photo of your property, as opposed to a real estate agent who's actually gone through, taken a video of a property, just a raw video is okay, but it's showing the property raw and real and authentically as you would see it with your own eyes, and then it's getting launched out to the to their social media channels. I mean, across all of my channels now, Instagram, LinkedIn, my Facebook pages and TikTok, there's circa 40,000 followers there that have been built up over time organically. So there's a big following there. I just launched now a beautiful two-bedroom apartment in DY, in the Crescent DY, and it's literally gone off. Lisa, can I have more information about that property? Please, can I come through? Can I get through before the Saturday open home? That traction is there. So you want to make sure that if an agent's saying, we're also putting our properties onto our social media channels, how active are those channels and what does their social media look like? So that's pre-market. I also, we as an agency also do a signboard as well, pre-market, if the vendor wants one. Some vendors don't.
So we want to sell, but we don't want to go to market. So these are the people, this is that emotion that we're entertaining with people at the moment. So they know they want the job done. They know they want to crack a price. They want the best price. But they're like, we sort of like, you know, we want to do it. So where agents struggle is, and we have it a lot in our marketplace, is they're very cookie cutter. They're very like, no. We do. And when you look at their campaigns, they are the same for every property. They do an auction. Even the photos look the same between whether they're selling a property in Allambie, in Coleroy, in Beacon. It all looks blah, 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 same. They cookie cutter your campaign. Now, they really only have one solution, and it's not a tailored solution. It's just on the market, straight down the middle. Very successful in some circumstances.
Sure. Yeah.
But when that person has that feeling and they want to entertain that feeling, what is the agent going to do that? And that's what I like about pre-market, because it's that segue to success, and it may be very quick without actually going on realestate.com or Domain, and it's great for people. They love it. So I think it's out there, guys. You've got to find, if you're not from the Northern Beaches, you've just got to find the agent that has that offering.
You do.
Just to sort of entertain your situation, your emotions, and the situation that you're in.
And it absolutely does exist. Now, as I remember doing an article for, I can't remember even the publication that was for, about 5 years ago. And I'd only been in real estate sales for about a year then. And I was talking about the whole off-market, pre-market and there. And I remember in the article it said, you know, this is a fad. And I was like, what? No, this isn't a fad. This is what the people want. This is definitely not something that's just going to come and go from the industry.
Yeah.
And of course, over the years, it's just grown and grown and grown. And I'm constantly having this conversation with the real estate portals that do an amazing job. But I'm constantly having the conversation with them going, guys, what are you actually doing to help with this? Because the people, they're saying that they actually do want off-market, pre-market. Not everyone wants to go to the portals. Not every vendor wants to have the big ticker tape parade. I have signed up in the last 7 days a substantial amount of property. And those particular vendors are just saying, Lisa, no social media. No, I promise you there'll be no social media. Lisa, not to go out to your email database. Not to go out. I understand. This is something that we just want you matching a buyer that you've got on your database through a phone call. It's like, understood. Then there's other vendors out there, like a property I've just signed up in the Crescent DY, and that vendor said to me, okay for you to take photos. I'm okay for a signboard. It can go onto your social media, and you're most welcome to email it out to your database. And again, that we call a pre-market opportunity. We pay for that marketing, by the way, guys. We pay for your professional photos, and we pay for your signboard as well. It's enormously successful. But I just want to take it back a moment, Mark, because there are people, let's just take it back for a sec. There are people in the industry that go, oh, but you know, this could have an effect on your sale price if you haven't actually gone out to the real estate portals. Now, I just want to say
about that, Lisa.
I just want to make it really clear. We are not here to sell property cheap and fast. That is not our job as real estate agents. There has been many an occasion where I have had a property off market or pre-market, and I've had offers come in, and I've said to my vendors, I have to let you know that I truly do believe taking this property to market and putting some money behind this will actually make you money. There has also been many a time, and I just sold a property last week where the vendor said, I don't care. I'm an older person. I've been in my property for a really, really long time. I want the property going to that young family, and that's fine, but I don't care. And that's who I want to sell the property to. I don't want the stress. I don't want to go to auction, and I'm very, very happy with that result.
And very conscious.
That's exactly right.
Oh, you know, they were very specific about,
yep.
We understand we're leaving money on the table. You know what? Everyone's got their way, and I think that the industry, once realestate.com was introduced and domain.com.au, I think the industry Well, I think it's like with anything, but people got a bit lazy. Agents got a bit lazy, and they were like cookie cutter, signboard, brochure, floor plan, realestate.com, stand at the door.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, no. There's more to it. There's a lot more to it.
But also, Mark, can I just say, pre-market, there has been many a time when I have had an offer come in on a property via one of the channels, social media or database or whatever it was. An offer came in and it came in quickly. And then the vendor said, oh, hang on a sec, you know what? Maybe we will get it out to realestate.com and Domain. We want to go full circle, make sure we're getting as much money as we possibly can. And then we never saw those dollars again.
Yep.
And sorry, and another yeah, go on. Go on. No, go.
I lost my train of thought now.
But then
I want to go.
Oops, you dropped your phone.
All right, I'll come back.
There was also a scenario a few weeks ago. I sold a house in Wheeler Heights, and we had 25 groups come through 2 open homes. We were pre-market. I said to my vendor, I believe we can actually, there's not a lot of stock on the market at the moment. I think if we launch your property out to realestate.com and Domain, we're going to make money here. And as a result, we did make a substantial amount more as well. A great agent's going to guide you through, guys. Understand that. We're just here to give you the options, the option of off-market and pre-market for someone that doesn't want to do the big ticker tape parade, particularly at this time of the year, is a fantastic option.
And if you wait right to the end of the show, I'll get a chance to talk as well. And I'll tell you what I think from my 30 years experience.
Over to you, Mark.
Oh, no. While we're on, I know we're talking. While we're talking about don't want to go on the market and they want you want to sell, get this. A great agent has built a true database of following, of a true database of buyers off the back of good old-fashioned real estate, realestate.com, domain.com.au, social, whatever. So a great agent that's really sowing seeds and building great buyer content database, a great agent has got those people off realestate.com and Domain from the last 10 days, 30 days, 90 days, 60 days. So often when you're going on the market with pre-market, you actually are getting the realestate.com people, the domain.com people. You are getting like all the people that agents dealt with. Not only that, but the agents kept them warm. The agent understands what they're after. The agent's built a relationship with them. So when we swoop them through and they pay an absolute premium for the property, that's taken sometimes 3, 6, 9 months of work of buyer management to actually, get that great price. That's true. But I understand from a seller, how do you actually understand that? How do you grasp it? How do you select the agent that has done that? It's a real hard one.
It's hard. But, and I just want to draw back to, again, how many sellers I sit in front of and they literally say to me, we don't want to do an auction. We do not want to do an auction and we don't want to do a big marketing campaign. And sometimes, like I've just signed up a property at the moment, it's extremely confidential. It's very off market. It's a beautiful luxury property. And that vendor is saying, listen, we're happy to be totally off market. We don't want a footprint on realestate.com and Domain. We don't want the footprint because
or an RP data.
They literally said it to me. We don't want the footprint because if things don't come to a fruition off market and we do decide that we want to launch the property at some stage next year, we don't want the footprint where it has shown that this property was on the market already
at a price,
at a certain price. Almost like as in, could it potentially have been a failed campaign?
Yes.
So they don't want that. And these vendors...
They don't want a digital footprint.
No.
Because a lot of data companies like realestate.com, like RP Data, they scrape the websites for information. When it came on, the address, when it came on, bedrooms, they scrape the photos, they scrape all that stuff, they store it, and they put it out. Now, that goes to bank valuers.
Yes.
That goes to real estate industry people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want that digital footprint. That's powerful. That's
right.
That is really
and I've had
it's valid.
I have many vendors that will say that to me. So guys, there are options out there for you. If you're watching this and you are a seller, you do have options to be able to do off market where the property never actually made its way anywhere at all. It was literally on our database. And when we found a buyer that matched with that property, that was when we disclosed it. These are heavily, heavily qualified buyers.
Yep.
I've got a handful of these properties at the moment. You will not see them on my social media. Fact. You will not see them on our website. Fact. They will not be emailed out to our database. Fact. That's number one. Number two, the pre-market stuff. Where do you find it? You need to connect with real estate agents and say, please put me onto your database. Follow them on their social media. All of my properties, most of them, except for the very confidential off-market ones, the vast majority are on our social media accounts. They are. And they'll go on there first before they will actually even be emailed out. So I've got a property now. I just launched it, 3 at 13, the Crescent in DY. Spectacular 2-bedroom apartment. Beautiful property. And the vendor's saying, listen, yep, happy for it to go onto your social media, happy for it to go out to your database, a little bit uncertain about launching it this late in the year. And, as I said, I've already had inquiry, hasn't even been email blasted out to the database yet, but it's all over my social media. So if you're following my social media, you do get to see it first before it goes out to the database. Fact. There's options there.
Please. Anything else we want to say today before we go?
I also just want to add to that this is a wonderful discovery phase. If you are a seller and you're saying, listen, if I can get the $1.2 million for my property, I'm a seller.
Yeah.
But if I can't, then I'm okay to wait. This pre-market, off-market phase is a really good discovery phase.
Price discovery.
The buyers come through. They tell us what they think with regards to price.
I had some people today say, would I be upset if I didn't sell the property in the pre-market phase?
Would you be upset?
Great question.
Would you be upset?
They asked that.
Okay, that's
so
nice.
they said, you're going to do all of this work for pre-market, which is significant.
The gamble's on us.
Yeah. And they said, and if we don't sell it, you've spent all that money, you spent all that time, aren't you going to be upset? No.
There you go.
Do you want to answer that, Liz?
No, I'm just looking at 22 minutes and 39 seconds. I think I spoke for 20 and you spoke for 2 minutes.
Look, I think you did a great job. But my answer to those guys was no. Because I said, do you know what? If you don't sell your property, we worked really hard. We did a great job. And we'd like to think that we'll get the second time around chance because of that. I said, but if you're an agent and you're worried about, and you're covering your bum and you're worried about they're going to go somewhere else, then you wouldn't spend that money up front. So I said, we are putting the money where our mouth is. You will see how hard we get. If the market doesn't support that price, you will see what we did. You'll see what we spent. You will see how hard we worked. And you'll go, you know what? We're not going to be selling, but thank you. Next time we're going to, and they do. A year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, 3 months later, whatever, they come back and go, okay, let's do it now. We know you guys did the right thing back then. So I think providing you're doing the right thing by people, you're looking after people, you're working hard, they come back.
Yep.
So if we do pre-market, we do go through that discovery stage, and you discover the price isn't quite where you think it is, you can double down and go, let's go on to realestate.com and domain.com.au, or pause. A lot of people are going to do that next week, 2, 3, 4.
Great way to dip your toes in and test the market.
Then we'll come back in February and sell this little puppy.
Yep. And so just to wrap up, guys, with our pre-market, we do offer our $0 marketing. We are well known for it. What does that include? That includes us paying for your professional photos. That includes us paying for your signboard. So there's a saving there of about $1,500. That includes us going out to our database, which is really extensive across all price brackets. Really, we cover all price brackets. And that also includes our very, very extensive social media as well. Wonderful way to dip your toes in and test the market and know you haven't left it too late to come onto the market now.
Whether it's a 1-bedroom unit, whether it's a $10 million house, same philosophy.
Yep, spot on. That's it, guys. Happy Monday night, everyone. Thanks, Mark.